Good morning, this is Heather Hoffman, and I'm back today with another card using the June 2019 Kit of the Month. Once again, such a beautiful kit. I have it stored on my, just a sleeve protector with a piece of white cardstock inside. I'm going to use the large floral image from this kit. I'm going to stamp and heat emboss the image with gold embossing powder. I'm using Tim Holtz watercolor paper. It's one of my favorite watercolor papers because there is a smooth side and a textured side, and that smooth side works particularly well for getting detailed stamped images like this and being able to get a nice clear impression. I'm going to stamp two of them because I'm going to create these in two different colors. And I'm stamping each one 2 or 3 times just to make sure I have a really good clear image, and then I'm going to sprinkle on my gold embossing powder and heat set these. Once I've finished heat setting these, I'm going to use Nouveau Shimmer powders to go ahead and embellish these, and it's something new that I've been playing with recently, and when I first got them, I didn't love them. It kind of took me a little while to kind of figure out how I like to play with them and use them. So this has become one of my favorite ways, using them over heat embossing. I just love the way, especially with gold heat embossing, I love the way that they pull and mix around the lines of the heat embossing. So I'm using just 2, these are just bamboo cutting boards I have in my stash, any flat surface, something to hold them onto. Instead of taping these down from the front, I always seem to destroy the front of my cardstock when I tape them down. So I've started using blue painter's tape and just making loops. Sometimes one main loop in the middle works. Sometimes I add a couple other little ones like this and kind of tuck them down the side. I kind of had to fiddle with it a little there to figure out what I wanted to do, but the nice thing is this will hold it steady and stable on my surface and keep it flat enough when I put the water and the color and everything on there, but it's not going to damage the front, and if it peels a little layer of paper off the back, no one's going to see that, and this cardstock's thick enough you're not going to see that either. So I keep it nice and sturdy and leave all of the adhesive on there, but then that's going to hold it in place well enough for what I want to do. So I'm going to do one color at a time. I've got 2 colors pulled out. The first one here that we're going to use is Falling Leaf, which is a great mix of kind of greens, and there's even a little bit of a turquoisey blue in there. Now a little bit of this goes a very long way, so I'm tapping. I don't know if you can see what I have on there. I found the best way is just to tip it over and tap and put a little bit just around my image, and then I just have an inexpensive water spray bottle that I'm going to mist over the top. I don't know if you can kind of see, the more water you put, the more it'll kind of puddle and pool into those heat embossed areas, which is kind of fun. And if there's any little spots that you find you want just a little more color, you can just shake a little tiny bit more on there. And then I like to mist a little more water just to make sure there's moisture on all of that shimmer powder. Now something else that I'm doing on these, and you certainly don't have to do, but I'm grabbing just a damp cloth and kind of pulling up that extra moisture around the main part of my image. It's still going to leave a little hint of color, but that's going to remove the bulk of the color and leave most of where my deepest color just mainly on that image. The second color I'm going to use here is called Catherine Wheel, and this is kind of a mix of reds and orange and pink, even with a little bit of a yellow, kind of a gold color in there as well. This one's a much bolder, brighter color. I don't know if you can see just how much deeper this one is. And so as I go around and dry off that excess around, you may notice that it definitely leaves more color behind. But that's okay. They're all different, and it's going to leave a little different effect, and I still really love just the richness of this color, especially with that gold heat embossing. There's just something about it. So I set those aside and let them dry very thoroughly on their own. I don't want to heat set them any additional since I already have the heat embossing on there, and I love letting them just dry on their own. And then I trimmed those panels down. I heat embossed a sentiment put on there, added some Nouveau Dream Drops, and mounted them on color coordinated card bases. Thanks so much for coming by today. Hope you enjoyed. Have a wonderful day.